on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast post Week 12, right? We're into Week 13 already. It always goes by so fast, but it is always such a good time. How are we feeling over here, Addison? 8-3, Chicago Bears.
8-3 is just absolutely insane after 0-2. First place, and this game wasn't the biggest tweak fest. Got the lead and held it at the end, so that was big. Feeling good.
Yep.
Big game against the Eagles. Let's see if we're a real deal.
Yeah, you guys started 0-2.
Yeah, 0-2.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, started 0-2. Started 1-5. What are we now?
Started 1-5.
6-5.
Yeah,
6-5.
Well,
top of the division.
Look at winning that division.
Ooh.
Steelers are in some serious trouble too. We'll
Yeah.
talk more about the Steelers shortly. Cowboys, huge win on Sunday.
Huge
win.
Another
Huge
week
win.
where this room did really well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bobby.
Yeah.
But this room,
No losers here.
no losers here. Right, we even covered against the bye. Huge.
That's
Yeah,
big.
huge. Unprecedented.
Unexpected.
Yeah.
Unexpected. All right, this week we are going to start with a little new segment that we've done once in the past, a couple times in the past, called Fact or Cap. I'm going to come out with 3 statements. You guys are going to tell me whether they're true or they're total crap.
All right.
First one here, and this one we had talked just a little bit about before we started recording. Here's the fact, and then I'll give you guys some stuff to support it, or a fact or cap. The Indianapolis Colts are going to miss the playoffs entirely after starting out 8-2 this year. Let me explain that one. This year, against teams under 500, Indianapolis Colts 6-0. Cannot lose to bad teams. They are fantastic. Against teams with a winning record, as of this day, right now, they are 2-3. Not great. The rest of the season, guess how many teams they play that are under 500? 0. Not a single game remaining against a bad team. You've got Houston twice and Jacksonville twice. You've got San Francisco and Seattle sandwiched in there between those 4 games. Daniel Jones, 7 turnovers in his last 3 games. Not great. He's starting to struggle just a little bit. And then you had that blown lead against the Chiefs on Sunday when the entire NFL was rooting for the Colts. I think I can say that pretty confidently. Mm-hmm. Unless you were a Kansas City Chiefs fan, you were rooting for the Colts to win that game. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs in the playoffs. If the Chiefs make the playoffs at 9-8, they're going to be the favorite to win the AFC.
It's going to piss me off.
No one wants to see them. Everyone's rooting for the Colts. We all know it.
Yeah.
So, can the Colts bounce back? Can they still make the playoffs, win the division? Colin, fact or cap? Colts are out.
I'm going to say crap to that.
Okay.
I think the Colts, it's really going to come down to, I know you mentioned their record versus sub 500 versus winning teams as well. It's going to come down to those 4 division games they have left against the guys that are kind of coming up on them. And more so, I'm saying crap because I believe less in the Jaguars and in the Texans from what we've seen this season. The Jaguars have kind of been in position to where they could be in first place right now, but they've also blown a couple games.
And they've snuck out a couple of games, too.
Yeah, and they've snuck a couple out. And I still just don't believe in Houston's offense. I believe in their defense fully, obviously. They're one of the best units in football.
Yeah.
But it's really just going to come down to those divisional matchups. Tough 2 games also against the NFC West, which is
that's tough.
probably the best division in football this year.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Without a doubt.
I think they'll get
So I would say crap. I think the Colts in first now, I think they can do just enough. Because I think with 11 wins, they could win the division.
Yeah, so you think they're going to win 3 of these remaining 6?
Yeah, I can see them going 500 rest of the way.
Addison, fact or cap?
I'm on the cap side with that as well, with Colin there. I just think that Shane Steichen came out again, typical. Should have gotten Jonathan Taylor more runs. It was 3 straight 3-and-outs with Jonathan Taylor getting 1 touch when you're up double digits in the 4th quarter. I mean, Shane Steichen gets your all-pro, best running back in football right now. The football, I understand the Chiefs watching the game. I thought they did bottle him a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
Because he was the focus.
Yep.
And Spags, you got to shout out. That's the Spags effect. But I think at that point you got to commit and you say, JT, are you this guy? And there was a couple carries where, hey, he's getting touched. 1-yard gain potential turns into a 6-yard gain, 7-yard gain, 6-7. I mean, natural 6-7 is crazy. But just getting away from Jonathan Taylor is just, you cannot let that happen.
Yeah.
And twice this year it's happened, and he's talked about it. I think he's going to learn his lesson. Keep JT as involved as possible, even if you are facing stacked boxes. He's that good this season. Their schedule's tough, just straight up. It was backloaded.
Yeah.
I think they could sneak one from San Francisco or Seattle. I don't think either one of those teams is unbeatable. Seattle's definitely better than San Fran, but
God, they're both so good.
I think a split with the 2 teams in a division and 1 win out of those guys.
San Francisco. That's their
big.
more winnable game.
Let's say 6-0 at home, and they're coming home now against Houston.
Yep.
But I'm on the cap side. I think they get it done.
Okay.
yeah, Jonathan Taylor will be the reason why, though.
Okay. Sage?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Cap side as well. I mean, I just think when you're looking at the teams that are competing against them with Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, those guys right there that could potentially take the division, they have way more question marks than we're even looking at the Colts, right? And the question marks are quarterback right now.
Yeah.
For honestly, mostly the Texans right now. Even though Trevor Lawrence isn't showing much.
Yeah.
But Davis Mills, all of a sudden, he's playing, not lights out, but he's playing enough to keep him
Smart
afloat.
football.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you throw C.J. Stroud back in there, and he's not playing up to his ability. I mean, it comes down to, do I think the other teams who are at least 1 game behind, 1 or 2 games behind, right?
Yeah,
What,
Texans
6 win games?
No, Jags are
Jags
7.
are 7, but Texans are 2.
Jags are 1 back, Texans are 2 back.
Yeah. So they both have ground to make up, and I don't know if I believe in them to make up this ground over the Colts. Because the Colts they play them twice. They play both of those teams twice, and those teams aren't exactly world beaters. And the Colts have shown that they can take care of business.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it. Honestly, I still think the Colts are almost a lock to make it.
Yeah, the only reason I haven't thought about this one was especially when I looked at the Jags' remaining schedule. They've got the Titans twice, 2 times against the Titans, and then they've got the Jets sandwiched in there as well.
Yeah.
And then Colts twice. So they've got Colts twice, Titans twice, Jets once, Broncos once.
And at the end of the day, all it takes, I think, a slight stumble from the Colts, and they've never had, since Luck's retired, and even before him, there wasn't the Super Bowl. They had a good postseason run, but they haven't had the successes of late. No one in this locker room can say, all right, guys, this is really how it's done. Because none of you guys have done it for the Colts. So if they do stumble and the Jags get on this winning streak, who knows? Because, I mean, the talk will get loud all of a sudden if the Jags have a chance to win the division.
Yes, agreed. All right,
Please tell me Week 18 isn't in Jacksonville.
I don't.
Because the Colts
Oh
don't
yeah,
see
they
that.
suck in Jacksonville.
No, it's not. It's at week 7.
It's in Houston.
Yeah, they play last week of the season's in
That could
Houston.
be a big one.
Yep, they played the Jags the
Yeah,
week before.
throwback to 2 years ago.
Their schedule is
It is
tough.
hard.
It is a tough schedule.
Good job
Good job
the
winning
games
the games you
started
needed
the
to win.
season
Yep,
with.
you did well winning those games.
They did hit their over on wins before
Yeah.
the season. They hit it before Thanksgiving.
That is crazy.
Because it was probably, 7.5?
Yeah.
7.5? Yeah, they're 8. Yeah, that's impressive. That's pretty good. All right, next factor cap here. And this one I sort of alluded to on the TikTok account. If you haven't seen the TikTok, go check it out. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to cost Kevin O'Connell his job in Minnesota. I think that they, at some point, and here's why. Currently, through 6 games for J.J. McCarthy as the starting quarterback, 6 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 920 yards, and a QBR of 24.8, where 50 is average. So he isn't even half of being average. And then a fun little quarterback comparison for you guys here. I don't know if anyone saw this picture on Twitter, but it was shocking. It was 2 quarterbacks. One of them was J.J. McCarthy through his first 6 games. The other one, passing yards, more for this quarterback. 1 less touchdown, so the second quarterback has 5 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions, and a passer rating of 76.9 versus McCarthy's 57.9.
I saw it. Is it Jalen?
No, no, it's not a good comparison. I thought it was going to be Peyton Manning, where everyone's
Okay.
like, don't, everyone uses Peyton Manning as comparison for bad young
Russell?
quarterbacks. It's Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, no.
Jamarcus Russell has a better start to his NFL
No,
career
no,
than
no,
J.J.
no.
McCarthy does currently.
The Bears lost that guy.
The Bears lost that guy in week 1. And then this is why it's an indictment on Kevin O'Connell. In my opinion, the GM did not just decide where I'm letting Sam Darnold go, you're going to go with J.J. McCarthy. Sorry, that's my decision, not yours. That was Kevin O'Connell's decision. He was definitely talking to the GM and said, hey, we don't need Sam. I got this with JJ. We're going to be just fine with JJ McCarthy. You have officially hitched your wagon to the JJ McCarthy horse, and that horse is running with a leg and a half. I mean, it's not even moving out of the starting blocks. I think that if JJ McCarthy doesn't turn it around, now can he turn it around? Absolutely. He's only 21 years old. He, was never asked to be the guy at Michigan. In the NFL, you're going to have to be the guy. If he can turn it around, then job's safe. I think if JJ McCarthy does not play any better this year and next year looks similar to this year, I think Kevin O'Connell's going to have to bear the brunt of that, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sage.
I disagree so much.
Really?
I just think Kevin O'Connell is too good of an offensive mind to let out of the building.
Okay.
Because then you not only have to replace quarterback, but you also have to replace coach. And you can't double gamble on the 2 biggest positions
Right.
in sports right now. And if I have to let go of one of them, I'm letting go of McCarthy. And I'm keeping McConnell, obviously, because I believe that he can find either another young quarterback or
A vet. Fix another vet.
fix a vet, get Kyler Murray in there, something like that,
Yeah.
If you get a guy like that has some experience, that knows how to play at least halfway well, Kyler's played, solid 11 games a year.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. He's good
Something
for
like
about
that.
2/3 of the season.
Exactly. But yeah, if you could find a guy like that to bring in later on, you just kind of press the restart button. I mean, it didn't cost Kyle Shanahan his job. Brock Purdy bailed him out of course.
Right, they made the switch. So this
Yeah.
is them saying that, in my opinion, that was their Sam Darnold moment.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy looks good. Yeah, I know we drafted Trey Lance at 3, but Brock Purdy actually looks good. See you, Trey. We're
Yeah.
going to go with this guy.
Yeah.
That's why I think
they have
that-
to be definitive with it.
They
You
have
know?
to. You
They have to
cannot-
be
yeah.
definitive with it. If there's another if they have a quarterback competition and it's like a Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson type situation next year, I'd be perfectly happy with that. You know, bring in a vet, something similar to that, and let him compete for it. But I think you have to roll with JJ this year. You've already hitched your
Absolutely,
wagon.
absolutely.
See what he can do. He is a rookie. Like you said, he's 21. Whatever happens, happens. But like we just watched Carson Wentz play better with him. You
Yeah.
know, we just watched Sam Darnold last year taking 13 wins. You know,
14 wins.
14 wins.
And 14-3.
Which is absolutely insane. So
And then he let him leave. That's what I'm like. Why would you let that
I
guy
know.
go? Especially because he looks so good in Seattle right now, too.
But the thing is, like, you have to remember, quarterback, you're going to have to pay the guy eventually, you know? And then all of a sudden you have all these guys on the roster, and then you're like, man, can I really build this roster to its best potential? Well, we've already won 14 games, you know? Can I expand this roster even more to make sure we go, like, fucking crazy?
Sure.
You know?
So
And
then they
you
just
do that with the
decided
quarterback
they decided
contract.
to go cheap at quarterback. And that's like the one position I'm like, don't go cheap.
I mean,
that's the one you got to get the.
I
you
agree,
gotta get
but
the
when you
good
pick a guy 12th overall, 11th overall, something like that, I mean, you gotta roll with him.
That deserves to get you fired. Yeah, that deserves to get you fired because you're putting draft status over what you see on the field. Like
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski's a good comp in my opinion. Kevin Stefanski, everyone's like, he's unfireable. He's a great offensive mind. He's done so much with so little. It's like, how many years are we going to let him get away with that? How many
Right.
years are we going to say Kevin Stefanski's safe because he's done it with Joe Flacco 3 years ago, and he's done it with these guys, and he never has a quarterback. It's like he has a say in who his quarterback is.
Stefanski at least got multiple years. This is 1 year of J.J. McCarthy having a bad
Yes,
year.
agreed.
You know?
So that's why I'm saying if next year, if J.J. McCarthy does this again, and you don't see anything on the horizon, and Justin Jefferson wants out because his quarterback sucks.
I say even then you let J.J. go and
And you
let
just
him,
keep
you
Kevin
let him get one
O'Connell.
more quarterback in.
Okay, fair.
I think if I was the owner of the Vikings, because at the end of the day, that's who's going to be
That's who's
making
making the
this
decision.
decision
Yeah.
because the GM, your time's coming.
Yeah.
Because he's been there as long as Poles, and I do not want to butcher his name.
Yeah,
but
no, that's okay. We all know what we're talking about.
his job's on the line as well because he also drafted JJ with that pick. If I was the owner, I think it would be Cap because I think Kevin O'Connell is the guy that I would get rid of JJ and the GM
Yeah.
and say, hey, we got O'Connell. Who wants to be his
Who wants-
GM?
and
And
be his
who wants
quarterback.
to, we'll figure out his quarterback together with us three. And so that's why I'm leaning Cap. I think it would be fact, though, just for what the NFL is.
Yeah.
If JJ doesn't take any sort of step, if he
Yeah.
takes the smallest step, I think
If you see
O'Connell
any
is
growth,
safe.
yes.
But you brought up the point of Justin Jefferson. Okay, well now
Right.
it's also this team is now trying to win with JJ with the
Yeah.
rookie contract, but also trying to win now. That was the whole point of keeping him. Like Sage, you said, all this extra money gets to be fueled into this
elsewhere.
team.
Yeah.
JJ, you're our guy. Well, guess what? Next year is year 3 on his contract.
Yep.
Already,
Already.
It's great that he got hurt and he had the red shirt rookie. Well, it counts for your contract
Still
in the
fa-
NFL.
yep, still counts.
So there's a year after that, and they have to make a decision on your 5th year.
Yep.
So if there's not a slight step, I think the job could be in trouble. But I will say fact for the fact that if there's no step, he'll get fired. If it was me personally as owner, I'm Cap on that. O'Connell's
We're
too
big
good of a
Kevin
coach.
O'Connell fans
Yeah,
here.
we love cock here, but I could see it just because you're not wrong. They kept
They
JJ
chose-
over
made a
Sam
choice.
Darnold, and I said it. Why don't you keep both?
Right.
Because he was young enough to do that, and instead, that's where whose decision was it?
Yeah.
Because we were a winning football team, 14 games.
We won
And if this guy
14
regresses
games.
us to 5 wins, 7
With the
wins,
same roster.
and
Same roster.
Well, let's
JJ's
also be
pissed.
real.
Justin
We weren't-
Jefferson, I mean.
Let's be real. We weren't believing that Sam Darnold was going to go into Seattle and do this year either. You
That's
know?
true.
Yeah.
I mean, even we had our suspicions, you know, and even though he did it last year, there was no guarantee he was going to do it again this year.
Yeah, the crumble in the playoffs
Yeah.
hurt. The crumble in the playoffs
It cost
definitely
him a lot of
hurt,
money.
and it cost him money, and
if he
maybe
was
even
getting,
a job there.
if he was
but
getting like 50 million, if you got like a Trevor Lawrence
Yeah.
deal, then I'm like, yeah, you gotta let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You're
you
not
only
wrong.
got like 30 million
I know,
a
the
year for
contract-
quarterbacks. That's like bottom of the barrel.
yeah.
For quarterbacks. Now,
Yeah.
money wise, that's awesome.
If I'm Kevin O'Connell, I'm feeling myself though. You know,
Yeah.
I'm feeling myself. I'm like, look what I just did to Sam Darnold. Give me this young buck over here,
Yeah.
and we're about to go to the moon.
And if he's
And I get
wrong
it.
about the
Yeah.
young buck, who do you blame?
because that's yeah.
Because if he's wrong,
If
and
he
he's
is
like,
wrong.
if he was that confident in himself with JJ McCarthy, and he's wrong,
yeah.
How do you not blame him? How does he not get blamed for it? Maybe not get fired, but how do you not say, Kevin, whoa, you see these guys in practice every single day. How do you make that mistake?
Because at the end of the day, there's only so many ways this can go. If they're winning, everything is going to be fine. And if they're struggling, okay, well, all of a sudden Flores is a scapegoat because you can't.
Now it's
the rookie quarterback.
Flores.
And then again, when Jefferson starts getting to the point where he's irate, because he's already showing signs of cracking a little bit. And this guy's never done that. He's never done that. He's the polar opposite of Jamar when it comes to mentality for the squad. Yes. It's starting to crack, and it's because McCarthy is struggling.
Can't hit him.
But it's a slippery slope. They've got time though. And I think
they have time.
O'Connell's at least
You've got this year and next year.
Next year cannot be horrendously bad. Even if it is just not great or not even good, I think that's okay as long as it's not top 3 pick.
Well, thankfully, so their next few games, unfortunately, they got Seahawks this week, right?
Yeah.
But after that, they got the Commanders, ass defense.
Yeah.
Cowboys, ass defense.
Whoa.
Giants, back end, ass defense. And then the Lions, who've been struggling with getting hurt and all that, right? So you have a few games in there where you got to show yourself, hey, like I can play. You know, I can play. I can stat pad. Give yourself a little credit right there, and just like go out there and ball out. If you can't do it against those defenses,
that's the problem. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, see, that's my thing is can he do that? That's what it's going to come down to is can he do that? Because earlier against the Falcons, he put up 6 points in week 2.
Falcons are good. Their defense is good.
Their defense is okay.
Their defense was like top 5 for a while.
Yeah. Last week's stats were rough. Green Bay's defense is good, but 87 yards.
87 yards and 2 picks is not going to get it done.
Not good.
I mean, even the Ravens, when their defense was bad, shut him down for the most part. Really clamped him down, if I'm not mistaken. Was it him? Yeah, it was him. Yeah. 2 picks in that game. I mean, he's just thrown so many interceptions, which he's young. I get it. Colin, factor cap. Kevin O'Connell in trouble?
This one I'm a little more torn than the first one because I would agree Cap just based off Kevin O'Connell's resume and what he's been able to do as an offensive mind and developing quarterbacks. Maybe not JJ at this point, but maybe that's where it leads to the fact, if, as you guys have mentioned, if you don't see that growth year after year, can he develop him?
Right.
And also, if he truly was the one that said, I'm hitching my wagon to this guy, you live and die by it.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I think.
And sadly, I think coaches, most of the time, unfairly kind of get the axe more quickly than the younger
100%,
players.
100%.
So it's like, well, maybe we can bring a guy in that can then develop him. And it's like, I don't know, you got a pretty good guy in-house already.
Right.
So I'm going to lean Cap just for what I've seen Kevin O'Connell be able to do as a coach and then as an offensive mind with quarterbacks. But we'll see, as you guys mentioned, time will tell.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. All right, that was a good one. See, that was much better than the first one.
Yeah.
There's some good one there. All right, second one here, and I feel like I know that you will all say cap on this one as well, but I just want to have this conversation. This is when I just want to have this conversation.
All right.
Let's see. The year was 2018, I believe. Arizona Cardinals were coming off of a terrible season. They picked number 1 overall that offseason. This is when they drafted Kyler Murray.
Naturally.
Just the year before, they had picked a quarterback at pick number 11, who was, at the time, considered to be one of the top guys in the draft class, in Josh Rosen. Maybe not this offseason, but if next year plays out like this year, the Titans are going to Josh Rosen, Cam Ward, and take the top quarterback in the draft in 2027. If they're this bad, if they are a 1-10 football team next year, they end up having the first overall pick in the 2027 draft, I think you make a move because, one, you've got a new head coach already in the building now.
Yeah.
Like, the guy who drafted Cam Ward is gone. Cam Ward, I know the situation around him is terrible, and he has shown some flashes, but he's played every single game and he's thrown 7 touchdowns. 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. It's like, not that great. I understand the situation, not good around him. But if he is this franchise-changing quarterback, this guy you took at number 1 overall, you have to do more than that. You have to do more than that. And then when you look at Tennessee, the situation there is just absolutely a disaster. How many years do we think it'll take Tennessee to be even borderline competitive? I think at least 2 years. At minimum 2 years, more likely 3 years, to where you're like, this is a good roster. This roster is solid. At that point, now you got to decide to pay Cam Ward. And all of the people are going to say, well, you haven't seen what he has because this roster's been terrible. Yeah. At that point, it's like, what do we do? I would not be shocked to see Cam Ward get Josh Rosen. Sage.
I was actually listening to a podcast about this on the way here.
Were you really?
Right? Yeah. No, okay. So I have opinions, all right? And I was listening to him say all this stuff. This last week, Cam Ward arguably had his best game of the year.
He did.
You know?
He's played better the last couple of weeks. He's played
better, and I would say that last week, with, I don't know if there's any correlation, but it's the first week Xavier Restrepo played.
Yeah,
right?
His boy from Miami.
But even then, it was his first time where he had no mistakes. You know, it doesn't mean he played great. Doesn't mean
Right.
he played super well. He wasn't a world beater, but he didn't have mistakes, right? And that's what you're looking for in a rookie. You know,
Yes.
you weren't going to go out there and win like 10 games this year,
No.
even though you got Cam Ward. And I feel bad for the Titans because I truly think that their draft strategy the past few years was the right draft strategy.
Offensive line.
Offensive
and then the
line,
quarterback.
let's bring in a quarterback,
Yep.
you know? And then
Agreed.
after we do that, we'll get him a weapon, you know?
Yep.
Something like that. Get him in the system, get him the Stephon Diggs, you know,
Yeah.
for Jalen. Get him all these other guys that can really help him out.
Mm-hmm.
And they just whiffed on every offensive lineman.
Yeah, they're all bad.
And even then, when they drafted him, we were praising him, you know?
Yeah.
I like especially because they had Callahan as the offensive line coach, who obviously has left now too. It's like, now what are we doing here?
Exactly.
The roster just looks in a bad spot.
So they've done it right, and they just keep getting it wrong still. So I feel bad for them in that sense. But next year, I mean, it's not like is Mendoza really going to go in there and have better, you know? Better,
right. I think what the coach thinks. That's what the only reason why I even think it's possible this offseason is because what if this coach comes in and he goes, I love Dante Moore. I love Fernando Mendoza.
Yeah.
That is I think this guy's going to be a Hall of Fame type of player for whatever reason. How do you not let him get him? How do you say no? I drafted Cam Ward. You have to make it work with him.
And what kind like are you trading Cam Ward at that point?
Yeah,
Like,
I think you tried to. I
if
think you tried to get a second round pick for
What
him.
are you getting for him? Is
Probably
it a
like
second?
what Josh Rosen got for Arizona. He got a second round pick.
I mean, yeah, but gosh,
For you guys?
Yeah, from us. It's a terrible trade.
It's so
It was
hard.
a terrible trade.
It's just such a hard situation they put themselves in. But
Yes.
I think you got to roll with Cam Ward. I think you have to just for another year. I mean, when you take a first overall pick, Josh Rosen was picked 9th, right?
Yeah, 9th. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to pick. Cam Ward was picked first overall.
Mhm.
You know, granted there wasn't any other quarterbacks, and
No,
you
I
needed
mean,
a
it wasn't
quarterback, but he was the first overall.
Does it matter
pick.
that Jackson Dart has looked much better than him this year? Are you just like, ooh, we might have missed?
No, but he was also in a way better situation. You know,
Who? Jackson
Jackson
Dart?
Dart. Yeah, he had at least someone to throw to. Malik Neighbors went down, of course.
I don't think
but-
he's ever thrown to Malik Neighbors.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Malik got hurt when it was still
Neighbors already
Russ.
done? I mean, they still have a better line than him. They still have better weapons. I would say Wandell Moore, Darius Slayton, Theo Johnson are all better than
Yeah.
anyone they have in the Titans.
Yeah.
You know?
Calvin Ridley's supposed to be good, but he's been terrible.
Yeah, and Brian Dable, God rest his soul.
Yeah,
'Cause
R.I.P.
he's dead.
R.I.P.
Of course. But he at least, you know, he trusted Dart to go out there and run an offense and stuff. I'd still say you give him another year, you know?
Sure.
And then the following year is going to be an even better class of quarterback.
Yes, agreed.
Dart gets the praise. I think he has a good, but he uses his leg and his
Yeah.
body at
Yes.
will.
And he's already missing time for
because
injuries.
of it.
Yeah.
Cam Ward does not do that. He's
No.
the pocket passer. I'm going to go Cap, and it's sort of a cop out here. I think the coaching hire is the reason why, for good or bad.
Yeah.
Either, and then you're bringing up, what if the coach says, I believe in this guy? Well, then guess what? He's probably not the guy you hire.
Then I'm not hiring.
Because you're going to hire the
Yeah,
guy that
that
comes in
believes
and
in Cam
pitches the
Ward.
best plan for Cam Ward, and either it's going to go well,
Mm-hmm.
and it will be another step up this next season for Tennessee. Maybe it's not big, but it's just enough.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, hey, we got to take that next step. And if it's successful, well, obviously Cam Ward is the Tennessee Titans quarterback.
Yep.
And if it's not, I don't think you can just get rid of a QB, a year into the new coach's thing?
Yeah.
Because now he's got to get a quarterback.
Get his guy.
And then what, you're going to give him a year
many years does he
potentially? And
get?
then he's going to get fired? And then the new quarterback's got to get a new coach? It's just like you're potentially going Bears route, but
I was
even
about to say, it
quicker than
sounds like
that.
the Bears route.
But,
Yeah.
but it'd be even quicker because the Bears normally at least
Give
give
it
those guys
couple years.
3,
Yeah,
you
couple
know?
years,
And
yeah.
it's like, okay, well, are you shit? Okay, you really are shit. Bye.
See ya.
But I think either way, you're just going to hitch Cam Ward to this next coach, and the next coach has probably got 2 to 3 seasons most likely. So Cam Ward will be there that long because either it's going to go well, or you're going to hitch him to the new coach because then you can tear everything down.
You just get fired
and
GM,
go,
coach, quarterback.
Yep, exactly. Because at least from an ownership standpoint, do they care enough to really care if that's the plan? I don't know, but that's what I would hope. If I'm a Titans fan, is that Cam's just hitched to the next coach, and you
Yeah.
better. Who's the guy that believes in Cam? Like Canales believed in Bryce Young.
Like McDaniel and Tua coming in like here's
Ben Johnson and Caleb.
Exactly.
I mean,
believe
Ben
in
Johnson
the quarterback.
picked the Bears.
Yes,
Picked the
that
Bears.
was
He
his
had
job.
the pick of the litter, and he picked the Bears.
Yep.
We want someone that has the pick of the litter and picks the Titans. That's what the Titans got to try to find.
And they won't be that team.
No. That's
Which
the problem.
sucks.
That is the
Yeah,
problem. Because
that is
then
part of
who's
it.
it going to be? Who's the guy that's
They're
going
going
to
to
go
get the
say?
bottom of the barrel coach.
let's fix
They're going to get an
Force.
offensive coordinator no one wants.
Well, the question,
The,
it was questionable hiring Callahan in the first place.
It was,
This guy was
it
Joe
was.
Burrow's.
He's a Joe Burrow
Was he
merchant.
even play caller though?
No.
He wasn't because it was Zach Taylor. So it's
Yeah,
the
it was a Gase
offensive
situation.
mind
Yeah, it wasn't Adam Gase.
behind Joe Burrow doing well, and it's like you got to get it right this time.
Yeah, gotta get it
Or
right.
it's going to be another tear down quickly.
Yes. Kyle.
So I don't know if I fully understood the
Please.
statement here. So
Yeah.
is it this upcoming draft
No.
or talking to the following year's
Either
draft?
one. I
Either
think that
one,
within
okay.
the next 2 drafts, 2026 or 2027, they go QB.
Okay, so I think cap for this upcoming one, because
Yeah.
after 1 year would be absolutely crazy.
It'd be
for
insane.
an overall pick. But after next year,
Uh-huh.
so the 2027
So, right.
draft, I think as unfair as it would be, I would not be
Would
surprised.
it shock
I would
me?
say fact if they had the number 1 overall
They-
pick.
if they pick it
Yes,
one.
okay, that's
If they-
fair.
yeah,
I think
pick
that's
it
a,
one in
that's a fair
2027.
caveat. I
I
think
get
that's
it.
a fair
Take
caveat.
Sarge.
Oh,
Say
we're
Sarge.
getting 3 straight years of number 1 pick.
Shoot.
And maybe that's the best thing for Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Because some of these guys come in and
Yeah,
they
get
just
the hell out of the shitty
They get out of
situation.
there.
dealt a
Yeah.
shit hand.
Yes.
And it's just
And he goes to the Vikings.
Right.
Who knows?
All of a
All of
sudden,
a sudden, Kevin O'Connell
Yeah,
came
a lot
over.
of touchdowns.
Cooking a lot of
Lot of
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
So I think unfairly these guys come in and the situation is just either the coach, the roster, the organization.
Yeah.
It's just not a great, it's not a good fit. And then now all of a sudden you're a bust and you're never
Yeah.
gonna make it and you only,
Right.
you're on your second or third team within 5 years of a pro.
Yep.
But
Yep.
I can see that for like not this draft but the following year's
Yeah.
draft. I can see
If
that.
you asked Tennessee's ownership if they thought hiring a coach and then the next year drafting a quarterback and firing that coach in his second season, like 7 games into the year of the rookie's career, is that a good idea? They would say no, that is not a good
no,
idea.
this is not smart.
And that's exactly what they did. And
Yeah.
Colin, that's where the ticking clock. I mean,
Right.
it's on everybody. I mean, it's
It
on
is.
Penix in Atlanta. It's on everybody because
Everybody
you got to
in the
win
NFL.
now. It's the NFL.
Yep, gotta
Yeah.
win now. I agree. All right.
Or we gotta at least show.
Yeah, that
you're
you
going
can.
to
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Yes, agreed. All right, that's Factor Cap for week 12, 13 of the NFL season. We'll see you guys next week.